Ever since she was young, her mind has raced with vivid and fantastical ideas, conjured up by her boundless and creative imagination. Her name is Blaze, an only child who lives with her father, Luke. One day, she blasts her headphones with a good song to brighten up her mood and goes out of the house for a walk. She stops for ice cream at a convenience store along the way. Walking along a deserted laneway while eating her ice cream, she spots a woman who, after ending a phone call, is being pursued by a fine man. It seems that the two are arguing. Blaze hides on a nearby wall, far enough that she won't be seen but close enough that she can still hear the two. She peeks through the wall vines that prevent her from being seen. She sees the woman being attacked by the man, who is pinning her to the wall. She hears the woman refer to the man as Jake, and she uses all her might to push him away and run for her life. However, she has nowhere to go. She tries climbing on a tree, but Jake is strong enough to corner the woman. With a bleeding head, she looks up and accepts her defeat. Jake assaults the woman. After satisfying himself, he lays her lifeless body down on the ground and runs for his life. Blaze is severely distressed by the event in which she was unable to control her bladder. After running back to her house, she becomes physically and emotionally drained. Her vision becomes distorted, and she crawls on the floor to her bedroom, where she buries herself under blankets and sobs. Her father woke Blaze up after it had already become dark outside. Despite her objections, he changes her clothes and puts her back to bed. However, Blaze is unable to fall asleep and goes to her father's bedroom. The intense emotions brought on by the incident prevent her from moving or speaking, and she stands in the doorway. Luke, noticing her distress, gently guides her to the bed and asks her what has happened. Blaze finds herself at the police station, with a female police officer sitting next to her. Luke speaks with an investigator and presents photos from the crime scene, explaining that Blaze, as the sole witness to the crime, needs to testify at the pre-trial. During the process of collecting her DNA, Blaze's creative imagination transports her to a vivid but shadowy realm where her friend, a dragon named Zephy, lives. While in this other world, she is not in her normal state of being. She uses this imagination to express the anger, the guilt, and the regret that she feels for not doing anything at the time the tragedy happened. In this other world, only she can express what she truly feels. Luke does his best to support his daughter in any way he can, including accompanying her to see a psychiatrist to help her cope with the trauma. The psychiatrist encourages Blaze to talk about her feelings, but when she does, the psychiatrist dismisses her experiences as meaningless and tells her that she is just having nightmares about dragons. The psychiatrist makes Blaze feel like she is crazy and advises her father that the only way for her to be cured is to take the prescribed medication. Before the court hearing begins, Blaze asks the judge if she can stand during the trial, and the request is granted. She stares directly at Jake, who looks back at her for a moment before looking away. Jake's defense lawyer tries to make it appear that Blaze does not understand what she is saying and suggests that the incident was a mistake. In her mind, Blaze envisions her dragon killing Jake. That night, Blaze cries in her bed and tells Zephy that she feels like she has let Hannah down because she was unable to explain what she saw and wasn't given the opportunity to be heard. To make matters worse, Blaze's father suggests that she will not be able to cope with the trial due to her mental state. Blaze starts researching the issue of femicide and discovers that Hannah's case is just one of many that are being ignored by the government. She prints out a picture of Hannah and displays it in her room, and Zephy is always there with her whenever she is grieving for her friend. One day, Blaze is riding a bus on her way home when she suddenly sees Jake walking on the sidewalk and talking on the phone. She stares at him in shock and cries out, begging the bus driver to stop. The other students on the bus stare at her as she becomes hysterically upset and bangs her head on the window. A police officer removes Blaze from the bus and she wakes up in a hospital, with Luke sitting by her bedside. She hears her father speaking with a nurse, giving instructions about the medication she needs to take. Blaze takes the medication for weeks, but her condition does not improve. In fact, her hallucinations become even more intense. In her hallucinations, she sees her toy friends singing under a spotlight, another doll drinking medicine from its tongue, and Zephy standing in the corner of her room. She hangs her toys above her bed using a colored thread, which upsets Luke. During this time, Blaze confides in Anna, telling her that she lost her mind when she saw Jake on the street. Anna tells Blaze that the same thing happened to her sister, and the perpetrator still celebrates Christmas with his family. Blaze returns to the crime scene in an attempt to confront her emotions and come to terms with the incident, but it only serves to make her more angry. This anger motivates her to participate in and win a karate competition. With Anna by her side, Blaze goes to Jake's house and confronts him and his girlfriend on the sidewalk. His girlfriend asks him about Blaze, but Jake denies knowing her and claims that he has never seen her before. Blaze becomes even more angry when she returns home and finds that her room has been cleaned up by her father, who has also retrieved all of the medication she had hidden inside her toys. She gathers all of her toys and drives the car out of the house. Luke sees this and tries to stop her, but gets injured in the process. He angrily removes Blaze from the car. Luke admits Blaze to a psychiatric hospital, where she meets a few people who help her better understand the incident. One of her friends, a teenager who is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, tells Blaze that his brain is wired in a way that he cannot fully understand. Another friend, in whom Blaze also confides, helps her understand why the incident occurred. This girl explains that what Blaze is experiencing is a process, a journey that she needs to go through. After returning home, Blaze and Luke reconcile. Blaze then goes to her room and finds Zeffy on her bed, weak. She embraces Zeffy and tells her to stay, because Zeffy was the one who really helped her process her emotions when no one else was there for her. In her imagination, Zeffy appears to Blaze, and the two enter their own world. There, Blaze introduces Hannah to her toy friends and reassures her that everything is okay and that Blaze is there for her. The two share a kiss and play with Blaze's toys. The next morning, Luke tells Blaze that she can testify by recording a video in which she tells what happened, so that she does not have to appear in person for the court trial. Blaze hugs her father and tells him that she has learned how to cope with her emotions. Blaze makes a difficult decision and cries as she embraces Zeffy for the last time. She knows that she must let go of Zeffy. She slides her hand down Zeffy's bare chest and then stabs Zeffy with a scissor, severing their connection and enabling Blaze to move on with her life. This is not easy for Blaze, and she knows it will never be easy, but she knows that she needs to stand up for Hannah and put an end to her story. In the end, Blaze decides to appear in court in person and proceeds bravely to recount the details of the event.